Aliens, leviathans, and the deep spooky sea. And some frosty business up on land too. Can I solve the mystery of my sister's death? Will the aliens in this frosty land be my friend or my enemy? How many times will I poop my pants? To achieve 100%, I'll be completing the entire game, of course, and all 13 Steam achievements. Welcome to 100% of Subnautica Below Zero.
You sure you want this? The research is in everything.
It is to me. And Sam. I need to know what happened.
The meteor storm.
I can use it for cover from Alterra's eyes.
Gonna miss you, Robin.
I'll find my way back.
Okay, so I'm not crash landing, I'm deliberately going onto this planet. I'm looking for someone.
Surface temperatures.
Oh dear. Below zero. Frosty. That's a crash landing.
I used my enormous thighs to kick my way free of the flaming vehicle and enjoy the glory of the meteor storm.
Goodness gracious me. Ah! That sure is a meteor storm. That's very exciting. Okay, my temperature is descending rapidly.
There was an orange icon over this way, so off I ran. And there were some impressive flowers that radiated heat at me. Quite convenient.
Nice toasty plant. The game's called Subnautica. Why did I land on land? That's gonna be cold, man. Avoid getting in the water as long as possible, I think.
I couldn't avoid it for long, so in I jumped. And also, I was wrong. I was wearing some kind of special suit that kept me perfectly warm in the water, so I had nothing to worry about.
Oh, it's a peeper. Arctic peeper.
I grabbed this hoop fish before surfacing for air, because while I may not have to worry about the cold, I did of course need to breathe.
Look at this, man. This is pretty.
I made my way to the drop pod, clutching this poor blue fish all the while, and soon I arrived and in I went.
What do we got? Blueprints. These are familiar from the first game. Oh, I got a bunch of messages from my sister. Okay, so Samantha died on this planet from injury sustained in an accident arising from her own negligence. Okay, so they just blamed her for her own death with no further details.
So my sister came to this planet as a robot scientist, working for the ethically and morally questionable Alterra, and it hadn't ended well. Sounds dramatic. And then it was time to cook that hoop fish.
I'm gonna eat the hoop fish, my first meal.
I took stock of the materials I needed to begin crafting some equipment, and out I swam. As you can see in the bottom left there, hunger and thirst were beginning to threaten, so I began by catching a peeper and bladderfish. I of course immediately cooked the bladderfish because everyone loves it when I do that, and after a quick feed I got back out there. I found some quartz, a sea glide fragment, and a limestone outcrop in which I found some titanium. These outcrops sometimes contain copper ore too, so I was happy to grab some of that, and in this cave I found some ribbon plants.
We got the vine creeper biome over here, I think.
As I surfaced for air, I heard a disturbing noise.
Oh no. You know what I forgot about this game? Oh, there's a straight up blizzard. I forgot this game is terrifying.
I grabbed some creep vine clusters, and I found oxygen levels were a challenge, as I had very little time to swim around before needing to surface.
My inventory is full. Oh, okay, those are kind of large.
I grabbed a few more materials before heading home, where I got busy refining those materials. I made some silicon rubber from a creep vine cluster, and a survival knife out of rubber and titanium.
Hiya.
I made a battery out of 2 ribbon plants and 1 copper, and as day 2 dawned outside, I crafted a scanner. I cooked up the fish I'd caught and dumped everything in the storage container before heading out once again.
Let's get some bladderfish. Oh, what's this? What is this? No way. Penguin. Pengling. Pick up Pengling. I can just pick it up. Ah! The mama's attacking me. I think something attacked me. Can I pick you up? Ow!
After watching this levitational maneuver, I said,
These guys are majestic.
I jumped back into the water and began scanning everything, unlocking a bunch of databank entries. I collected materials too, of course, and ribbon plants were high on my list as I needed to stock up on batteries. I scanned that sea glide fragment I saw earlier, and this progressed me 1/3 of the way towards unlocking the sea glide blueprint, and
I regret cooking that bladderfish because now I'm really thirsty. I can't see anymore. Okay, there's one.
I caught some of them juicy bladders, found my first galena outcrop, which has a chance to contain lead, and I soon found a second and third sea glide fragment to scan.
New blueprint, baby.
Oxygen.
Oxygen. Oxygen. Oh, go. Alright, nice. So, sea glide. I think I can afford that. And I definitely want one immediately because I'm slow and I hate being slow.
I made some fins out of silicon rubber first. I could have made these earlier, but I guess I missed it. And then a battery, some copper wire, some titanium, and some lubricant made out of one of those creep vine clusters came together to create a sea glide.
Beautiful.
I made another battery and some glass out of 2 quartz, with which I crafted a flashlight. And I turned all the bladderfish I managed to collect into H2O so that I might thirst no more.
There we go. We're moving now. We are moving.
It does feel good to move fast. Also, it has a light on the front, very handy. I continued gathering, just way faster now, and my next goal was to improve my oxygen tank. And for that I needed some creepvine samples, which I got from slashing at the creepvine with my knife. I immediately headed back and turned the samples into fibered mesh, which contributed to crafting the standard O2 tank.
Can make a repair tool now. I need sulfur.
I made a first aid kit in case of any more penguin attacks, and after making a spare battery, I swam forth once more with 70 max O2 instead of 45. I collected and crafted the night away, stocking up on pretty much everything, and into day 3 it was more of the same.
I think I should resist collecting so much because I do not have space. I need to find sulfur. What am I looking for?
The repair tool wasn't really a priority since I didn't have anything that needed repairing, so chasing down sulfur wasn't optimal, but as you can tell I was at a bit of a loss as to what I should do next. I at least found these funky things under the ice.
Frost anemone, argentite outcrop. Chance of silver, our first silver.
I found my first bit of salt over here too.
What's this, spiky boy? What the heck's going on here? Is there frozen penguins? Oh, what the? Sea monkey.
I don't know what was going on there, but my next find was even better.
Oh, what are you? What on earth? What are you doing, you donut?
There were angry fish spitting poison over here, and it was deeper and murkier, so I took that as my cue to turn around because I was indeed afraid that some giant toothy fish was waiting for me out there. I ended up checking out this deeper creepvine area.
It's got donuts in it. Oh, dude, did you hear that? That scared the crap out of me. I can't see, man. Maybe I go down there. Oh, that's a big boy. That's what's making that noise. I don't think that counts as a leviathan. It's not quite big enough. It's big enough to make me poop my pants.
There was a cave system under here that I was keen to explore, and these oxygen plants were going to be very helpful.
What is that? Who are you? Who are you? Ah! Is he gonna try and fight me? Get out of here, sea monkey.
It's quite possible that sea monkey was trying to give me a hug, but regardless of whether his intentions were malicious or not, he did indeed suffer violence in the form of my knife. After taking another hit of the oxygen plant that had apparently already regenerated, I headed down. There were some big delicious orange pustules on this kelp root, so I grabbed one of those, and...
Sea monkey nest, mobile vehicle bay fragment. Let's go. Why is it wrapped around a sea monkey nest? The sea monkey stole it?
I was pleased about that mobile vehicle scan, but also I had a little oxygen problem.
Don't want to get turned around down here. Go.
I made it out in time, though that was a little dicey. However, my inventory was full and I was kind of lost, so I decided to head back home.
I need to make a compass so I can remember which direction stuff is.
I had a conundrum though. My inventory was full and the limited storage available in the drop pod was full. So I dumped what I could and got back out there hoping I'd find more silver so I could make a wiring kit for a compass.
What is that?
Other than a mild risk of death by electrocution, it was a research station of some sort that I climbed up onto. I scanned this mineral detector and the desk upon which it was sitting, earning some new blueprints.
You good, bro?
I headed back and crafted a new toy.
The mineral detector can sniff out raw materials, potentially saving you hundreds of hours of searching.
Hundreds of hours of searching. Well, if it can save me that much time, I will be very pleased.
I'd accumulated a good amount of copper ore and ribbon plants, so I made a few spare batteries, because as you can see, my Sea Glide was almost out of juice. I gave my mineral detector a spin, and would you believe it detects nearby minerals. I found a second and third mobile vehicle bay fragment to scan, unlocking the blueprint, which was lovely. However,
I can make the mobile vehicle bay, but I don't think I can do anything with it, right? Because I don't have the vehicle recipes.
I figured out how to change what mineral the detector searches for and set it to sniff out silver ore. And as I headed through the blue here, I realized I'd found access to land. At first, I thought it was the same bit of land I'd crashed on earlier, but nope.
Yeah, there's a whole business over here.
I braved the cold to wander over and check out said business.
Snowman. Destroy snowman. No, why would I do that?
The snowman appeared immune to the weather, but these buildings here weren't in great shape. Inside was an absolute bounty of stuff to scan and blueprints to unlock.
I feel like I unlocked these machines so late in the first Subnautica. I've got them already.
There were a number of machine blueprints, building part blueprints, and decorative blueprints that I unlocked as I poked around.
One thing at a time. Winning takes focus. It's your field. Stand tall, be singular.
Even though I am neither an obelisk nor a tree, I somehow found these motivational posters profoundly encouraging. The indoor grow bed blueprint was an especially juicy find, as was this multi-purpose room. But the irony was I didn't have a habitat builder yet, so I couldn't even build these. But still, it was nice to get the unlocks. I found a jukebox disc and a PDA recording featuring my sister Sam, which I summarized like this.
She was working on taking care of the deadly bacterium. Okay, seems interesting. I have 29 new blueprints, by the way. It's just absolutely out of control. We'll definitely grab this picture of a cat. Oh, that's Potato.
Potato was Sam's cat, very handsome.
Was she right? Could there be architects living on this planet?
This PDA provided a signal location of an architect sanctuary.
I got an ion cube.
The cube is architect technology, and the architects are hyper-advanced aliens. As I continued looking around, an Altera beacon signature at the Delta Station dock was detected, so that was a second destination on the list for me to investigate. I discovered this station's quarters, in which I found this glorious poster, and in Sam's room, another photo featuring Potato. There was a PDA here too, with crucial information about Sam's activities here.
She synthesized the antibacterial agent, and she stashed some away in one of the Penguin research caves southeast of the Leviathan.
As you heard there, just the mention of Leviathan was enough to make me let out a little yelp of fear. And clearly there was something fishy going on with all this talk of diseases and hidden antibacterial agents. Back outside, I made a most pleasing scan.
Prawn suit. Let's go.
I found one more prawn suit fragment to scan, getting 2 out of 4 scans done towards unlocking the prawn suit blueprint, and with that it seemed I'd found everything there was to be found at this base, so I headed up this way.
That's a little alien something rather. What's going on in here?
And just around the corner...
Oh yeah, this is 100% an alien base.
But there was no way in through this green force field, so I left it for now. And after determining there was nowhere else for me to explore in this area, I jumped back into the water. I headed back into those caves in search of silver ore, and anything that would help me towards unlocking vehicles or building, but...
Warning, passing 100 meters. Oxygen efficiency decreased.
This area was right at my depth limit, so I had to be careful because below 100 meters my oxygen would run out much faster. This laser cutter fragment was a good find.
Oh, I may drown here. I may drown. I left it too late. Go, 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 go. No, 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 no. Ah, I just made it.
Breathe that frosty air. Delicious.
Oh, dude, what is that? Okay, so there's stuff to look at that way, but I'm pretty sure the big scary boy's that way. I don't want to go near the big scary boy.
That is fair enough. Big scary boys are indeed big and scary. And so I stuck close to the drop pod, looking for silver like a silly dingus. I ventured into this area with these pretty coral bridges. I had a quick pause to craft more water out of bladderfish because my earlier stash of H2O had all been swallowed, and I continued my fruitless search for silver ore.
Oh. What is that?
Apparently that was an alien distress call, but it was coming from 200 meters below, and with my current technology, there was no way I could get that deep. I did find some table coral though, and samples of these are handy to make computer chips, so this was a good find. Since I didn't encounter any predators in this area, I grew bolder and delved deeper. And down at roughly 100 meters deep, I found something most excellent.
Sea truck fragment.
The downside of being this deep is that it was a rather long swim to the surface to top up my O2, but I wanted me one of them sea trucks. This fragment was at a depth of 140 meters, so I burned a lot of oxygen getting the scan off. And this would have been impossible without these oxygen plants to help me out. I continued stocking up on table coral samples and kept on the lookout for more truck fragments.
Pretty sure I saw a part to scan. Yeah, there it is. Okay, we got the sea truck. We got the sea truck unlocked.
I also picked up a databank that gave me the bioreactor blueprint, and in this tube I scanned a habitat builder fragment.
I just got so many blueprints. Holy dooly, look at all this stuff. Okay, I finally found the habitat builder.
This was an excellent turn of events. The habitat builder would of course allow me to build a base and get properly established, instead of living out of a stinky drop pod, and I could now make a truck so I could stop swimming about like a peasant. There was just one problem.
Wiring kit. Computer chip. Oh, it's expensive, dude. I need to find gold and silver. Where the hell do I find gold and silver?
I was at least able to do this.
Okay, let's upgrade the O2 tank. This will be mighty useful.
This used up the one extremely precious silver ore I'd managed to find, but it granted me an additional 40 O2 to work with in the search for more precious metals. I made my way into an as yet unexplored cave system nearby and was immediately greeted by an old friend.
Oh! Oh, it's a crash fish! Yes, I need sulfur. How have I not found any of these before?
Ah, that brings back memories of when I first encountered a crash fish, back in Subnautica 1. Wait a second, that's one of over 2,500 vehicles available in the epic vehicle combat game War Thunder, which you can play for free now on PC and consoles. That's right, War Thunder is back. They sponsored my Subnautica video a year ago, and they can't get enough of the thalassophobia, so they're back for more with Below Zero. Yes indeed, there are over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships of 10 nations. The battlefield is immense and immersive, with rather detailed vehicles, authentic down to the sound effects. And these tanks aren't just boxes with hit points. Every vehicle is intricately modeled down to its individual components, all of which are susceptible to damage or disabling. I love an intriguing post-death analysis, and War Thunder's X-ray view is quite delicious, as it shows you precisely how you owned these silly nerds. Choose from 3 game modes based on how realistic you want the battle to be, and join the worldwide community of over 70 million players in expansive PvP battles today. Play on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox now by using my link below. New and returning players that haven't played for at least 6 months will receive a juicy bonus pack, featuring multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days of premium account. Okay, let's get back to watching me being an idiot.
Silver ore, silver ore. Where is some flaming silver ore?
After such a long period of failure to find delicious silver, I finally fiddled with the mineral detector setting again to see if I was missing something.
Oh, what? Oh, I was looking for the wrong thing, dude. Okay, so this whole time I've been searching for silver specifically, when I should have been searching for the Argentite outcrop, because that has a chance to drop silver. For goodness sake, I'm an idiot. There we go, now we're in business.
So it turns out silver was all around me the whole time. I just hadn't known it.
Yes, we're getting silver finally.
I found some more kamikaze idiots too, and therefore more sulfur.
You just gotta believe. Oh, there's a big boy. There's a big boy. I'm dead for multiple reasons. Ah! Okay, I'm not gonna die of O2 lackage. I may die of big boy eating me. Go away, big boy. You missed me, you big farting idiot. I don't know how I didn't find these caves earlier, by the way. What was I doing?
I had a good session down there, hoovering up all that silver, and once I had a few, I headed back and finally crafted some wiring kits, which cost 2 silver apiece.
Habitat builder is first priority. Computer chip, gold, copper wire. Do I have gold? I have a whopping 1 gold.
I honestly have no idea where I found that gold, but what a magnificent piece of gold it was, allowing me to craft a computer chip and the blessed habitat builder. I used a wiring kit to finally make a compass too.
But now I can see directions up there at the top. Never eat soggy wheat bix.
It was time to set up a base, so I zoomed about searching for likely spots to build. In searching, I ventured further than I'd ever gone before, and a beacon signal popped up, so I was distracted by that for a bit. I grabbed the beacon itself, as I knew it would come in handy, and after fending off this sea monkey, I found an intriguing PDA.
I'm telling you, Sammy, you see some weird things when you spend half your day in a sea truck. Just a huge creature frozen in ice.
What? Where?
In a cave, not far from your lab.
Sounds like Fred has indeed seen some weird things. I decided to set up my base here, but then I was rather thirsty, so I had a feasting spree before returning to add a hatch and a multi-purpose room over here. I entered my new home, but it was a little dark inside, which reminded me I needed a power source. But before sorting that out, I thought I'd better set up a beacon so I'd always be able to find my way back.
Tentacle coral base, because it is a base right near tentacle coral.
I placed a couple of these wall lockers and dumped all my stuff before heading to the drop pod one last time to grab all the stuff I had stored there. I needed more quartz to make solar panels, so I had a collecting session among the tentacles.
Here we go, now we're moving. I got somewhere to store all this crap so I can just collect like a madman and feel the joy meter in my heart that gets excited when I collect like a madman. Why is there a big thingo? Look at that thing. Look at that thing. Not as good as my base. Look at this base. Beautiful.
I placed 2 solar panels down, and with that, the base was now well lit and full of delicious oxygen. I also placed down another wall locker.
I feel like they're not centered, which is kind of annoying me.
But I couldn't be bothered fixing it and instead headed out to fill my inventory with materials once more. I soon returned and placed a fabricator on the wall with a locker right next to it, which I labeled Sustenance. I placed a battery charger too, into which I inserted the dead batteries that had begun piling up. I continued getting organized, placing an equipment locker and labeling the other lockers too. One for crafted resources, one for organics, one for titanium, one for copper, and did a little decorating with the stuff I'd stolen from the abandoned station in the snow.
Alright, cool. Got a desk for some reason.
And I placed the motivational posters right at the door.
So you just come in and you feel so motivated to just love life.
I browsed my construction options, taking stock of the materials I should be keeping an eye out for. Diamonds and lithium were high on the list, but first I wanted some gold. There's a chance to find it in these calaverite outcrops, so I had my detector set to sniff those out. I spent all night searching but couldn't find any. I thought maybe there'd be some in this blue area for some reason, but no. I did find this egg though, and it looked like it was probably a penguin egg, so I was pleased about that. And then down in these other caves, I finally found a bunch of the coveted outcrops. I collected my fill, returned home with the gold I needed to make another computer chip, and
the mobile vehicle bay. Woohoo! Fabricates vehicles from raw materials.
I deployed and climbed onto the bay to take stock of what I needed to craft a sea truck, and then I realized I could pin the recipe, which was much more convenient than trying to use my small brain to remember the list. After a vigorous crafting session, I was pleased to realize I already had everything I needed, thanks to my obsessive collecting, and so...
Sea truck! Finally! Plop. Nice plop, man. How do I enter? Wait, what? Ah, in the top. Okay. Good news. It's got 2 power cells. I can add upgrades, a total of 4 upgrades it looks like. Nice. Okay, so that's good to have.
I used some sulfur to craft a repair tool, which will of course be handy to repair the truck if it sustains any damage. I made a spare power cell to carry around in case the truck ran low on juice, and I finally headed out to investigate the Delta Station dock signal.
I definitely fear that there's going to be some big fat fish guarding this place.
As I got closer, I saw some of these ones.
These weird geothermal pointy boys.
I saw one of these rambunctious fellas, but I felt much safer in the truck. And I saw a rock lobster too, but my voyage to this island was otherwise uneventful.
This is a recorded message. If you can hear this, you're trespassing. If you know what's good for you, you'll get the hell out of here.
That was a lovely welcome message.
I grabbed the beacon and poked around, and along with some stinky sulfur pits, there were caves, in which I found a horseshoe shrub, from which I took a shrub nut. There was sulfur in the cave too, so I took the opportunity to stock up. And as I emerged from this cave to head higher up on the island...
Oh! What the hell?
Stop right there, Altera. You're out of bounds.
I'm not with Altera.
Then your position is doubly precarious.
What do you mean?
If you're telling the truth, you're out of your mind. If you're lying, there'll be hell to pay.
Wait! Who are you?
Stay off my land.
Is that the crazy woman from the first Subnautica? I swear it is. Is it like Margaret or something? Margot? Is this Elden Ring?
I investigated the station, in which I found a jukebox to scan, along with some most excellent decorative items, including Fred's shaving kit, which I of course claimed. I found a data box which taught me the scanner room blueprint, and I investigated this satellite tower. There was a port into which a test override module could be inserted, but lacking one of those, there was nothing I could do here, except throw a snowball. I hopped back in the truck and spotted this underwater garden where I scanned an exterior grow bed, owning a very juicy blueprint unlock. I headed down this way, venturing well below 100 meters deep, wondering if I could make it to the Architect Sanctuary signal.
That's too deep, Ryan. What happens if I go any deeper?
Warning. Maximum depth reached. Hull damage imminent.
What are those? They look kind of angry. Like sharks. Let's see if I can aggro one of these idiots. Hello, idiot. Alright, it just ran away from me.
To make a depth upgrade for my truck, I needed plasteel and enameled glass, and to make those, I needed lithium and diamonds. So for now, I headed back to base.
Bro, where are the legs of my base? Oh, there they are.
I did a little decorating. I placed out an indoor grow bed in which I planted 2 shrub nuts, and I placed a foundation outside.
This is a pretty dodgy foundation as far as I'm concerned, but that's fine.
I placed an exterior grow bed on it, in which I planted some ribbon plants that I immediately slashed at with my knife, which got me a bunch of seeds that I of course replanted, and with that I had a replenishable supply of ribbon plants right next to my base. I placed a second grow bed too.
Sorry, man.
I returned to this area just next to the island, because when I was here earlier, my iPad had told me there are rich minerals somewhere below.
It looks just a little bit toasty. I wait for it to stop exploding and then sneak by. Is this a bad idea?
I managed to swim down between the blasts of heat.
Look at this nonsense, bro.
I began cycling through various minerals on my detector, and
I think there's a diamond somewhere though.
there were indeed a cluster of diamonds, a great find. One benefit of my sea truck was that I no longer needed to surface to replenish oxygen, so I decided to noodle the truck down a bit further so that I could easily return to it, and I got busy finding as many diamonds as possible.
Oh gosh. I may die though. Eat. I died. I thought I wasn't close.
It turns out dying isn't that big of a deal though, as I respawned 5 meters away in my truck. I did drop a few items, but I was able to pick them back up, and soon I was done with the area with 11 diamonds in my inventory. My ribbon plants had grown, so I expanded my farm into the second grow bed, and as usual I swapped out my depleted batteries and set them to charge, before getting busy building a scanner room, because although finding diamonds was great progress, I still needed lithium.
Yes, help me find lithium, please. It's only got a 300 meter scanning range, but it's working. There's a whole bunch of lithium. It's to the southeast. Is this ready? Yeah, give me some shrub nuts, man.
I planted 2 more shrub nuts, filling up this grow bed, and after yet another food and water gathering session to attend to the pesky human need for sustenance, I struck out towards the southwest. After nosing around for a while, I finally spotted it, my first chunk of lithium. This funky biome with purple vents was what I'd been searching for.
What have I just intruded upon? There is lithium on the floor though, so can't argue with that.
I zoomed around, collecting my fill, and since this was a new biome to me, I was anxious about predators, but it seemed pretty safe.
Oh dear. That's a big boy. That's a genuine big boy. Alright, I'm out. See you, nerds. That is a genuine big boy. Never mind the idiots. The little shark dingus is here. I don't care about them. Oh, good good gravy. Golly on a stick. Holy dooly.
I think that big fella was technically roaming the biome neighboring the purple vents, but as you can see, I wasn't taking any chances. And I'd managed to collect 13 lithium, so I was happy with that in any case. Back at base, a few more shrub nuts had grown, so I ate a bunch to fill my belly. I used some lithium to finally craft a plasteel ingot, and a diamond to finally craft enameled glass.
We can get the depth upgrade for the sea truck. Put that in. Crush depth. Okay, now I can get out at 300 meters. I think it's almost definitely enough to get there. Great news.
I continued crafting up a storm because there are a couple more useful things to construct now that I had lithium and diamonds at my disposal. Firstly, I placed a modification station, which can be used to upgrade items. I immediately used it to turn my survival knife into a thermoblade.
Cooks and sterilizes small organisms for immediate consumption. Okay, so that means I can get food really easily.
Next, I placed a power cell charger. I grabbed one of the truck's power cells that had depleted down to 60% capacity, and I whacked it onto charge. I placed a couple more lockers too, as I tried to organize my expanding hoard of materials. I realized I could place bulkheads to increase the hull integrity of my base. And I recalled from my playthrough of the first game that I'd failed to keep my base's hull strength up, which had resulted in some rather dramatic leaks. So seeking to avoid a repeat of those silly willies, I figured I should be liberal with bulkhead placement. That used up the last of my silicon rubber though, so I paid a visit to the nearby creep vines, where I stocked up on creep vine seeds and samples, and I refined those into resources. I added an X compartment here, along with a bulkhead for that juicy hull integrity, and with that I laid the groundwork for my base's expansion, but I didn't really need extra space just yet, so I left it at that for now. It was then finally time to venture forth with my newfound ability to go that little bit deeper, and I immediately made a great find.
A rebreather. Conserves oxygen when diving deeper. Okay, so this is going to be very helpful. I think I just go make this immediately.
The rebreather means the O2 consumption penalty for swimming below 100 meters no longer applied, which was great news.
So now we can finally actually go deep in this noodly biome. It's definitely deeper than I've ever been before.
There was a dodgy looking crack that went even deeper, so I decided to have a look.
Oh, yeah, it looks like a new biome with these weird things.
I ducked out and scanned this bulbous plant, but when I heard this noise, I decided it was time for me to leave.
I don't need to be this deep yet, and I'm pooping my pants, so I'm getting out of here.
I made my way towards the Architect's Sanctuary signal, threading my way through this cave system that was littered with alien pylons. I soon found the entrance I was looking for.
Wait, can I get in?
Sanctuary power critical.
Hello? Is someone there?
In a manner of speaking. We're running out of time.
I scanned this alien robot that was wandering about and headed further in. As I went, an alien voice spoke of its need for an emergency storage medium, and the facility was indeed looking a little rough.
So the architects are disembodied beings that need digital storage? I'll take some iron cubes any day. Oh, that's a big boy cube.
How long have you been stored here?
Longer than hoped.
The voice encouraged me to head to the terminal where the transfer could be completed.
Is this a good idea? Okay. Insert storage medium, which is just my PDA.
Storage medium accepted. Brace for Chasto.
Brace? What's happening?
Transferred.
Uh-oh. I am the storage medium? That's not ideal.
How do you feel?
Why do you sound like you're inside my head?
The facility identified hospitable capacity within your cerebral cortex.
You are in my head? I offered you my PDA! Get out!
Oh no. Does your kind perceive a boundary between cybernetic and organic components?
My mind is not a component!
You sound angry. We will allow you a moment to process.
Don't you go silent on me. Hello?
As the glorious cube crumbled away, I came to terms with the fact that an alien consciousness was now stored inside my head.
So I got an alien in my brain? That's the good stuff, man.
I headed back out to my truck and...
T, answer, dismiss. I got a phone call from the thing inside my head.
Understand this arrangement is
I'll answer.
The alien told me its name is Alan, which sounds about right. And to get it out of my head, I needed to find a way to assemble an appropriate body for it. Except since Alan was disconnected from his people's network, he'd lost the information needed to build such a body. So we were just gonna have to figure it out. With that, I had no more leads to follow except for one. My PDA had managed to track the angry lady in the prawn suit over in this direction, so that is where I headed.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to go near where that big fella was. I could be dead here.
As I came down the other side of the purple vents, I kept an eye on the open water, convinced a big chomper would appear at any moment.
Just ignore me. Just an innocent truck.
But the trip was blessedly uneventful, and I soon found myself in this biome with floaty rocks. There was a squiddy shark nearby, but I was able to keep my distance, and soon I was at the pilot's last position.
Well, that's not helping me much, is it? I'm in this hellscape. What do? I don't want that guy to see me. He looks like... oh, there's lots of those guys. I'm gonna guess I'm going deeper.
As I cautiously made my way, my PDA announced that a big chonky rock had broken off and risen above the surrounding terrain. I continued poking around just above my truck's depth limit before taking the hint and heading up to look at the big floaty rock. And now that daylight was here, it was quite clear there were many floaty rocks. But it was pretty obvious this big one here was the one worth investigating. It was hollow, so in I went.
Oh, okay. I'm guessing that's the hilarious lady in the mech thing's base.
Upon looking closer, I realized it was not the Angry Lady's base. It was in fact an Alterra lab that had been attacked by some kind of modified sea truck battering ram that was then detonated remotely, ruining the lab and its specimens and causing the big rock to break off and float. In other words, someone deliberately took out this lab. After poking around and scanning a few things, I found a PDA that revealed this lab was studying the deadly Kara bacteria and trying to mutate it rather than destroying it, because they believed it might be the key to groundbreaking advances in medicine and genetics. I also found a databank that gave me the swim charge fins blueprint.
Can only assume that woman with the mech attacked that base.
I continued searching back down in the ravine, and I soon made some great finds. There were gel sacks down here, and rubies too. Both of these materials are useful for advanced crafting. As I said about collecting, Alan gave me the signal of an important alien artifact he'd managed to find, so now I had another destination to check out. For now though, I was keen to fill my inventory with rubies in particular.
This biome's kind of pretty, to be honest.
Calorie intake
Oh gosh.
recommended.
How do I get off? That wasn't fun. Trying to eat my face. Don't appreciate it.
There are a bunch of sea monkey nests with fragments to scan too, so I soon unlocked the prawn suit grappling arm.
Didn't I tell you to stay away?
Oh,
From what? I don't even know who you are.
Marguerite Maida's the name.
it is Marguerite.
You're on my turf.
So I guess I found her home after all. She had some great structures for me to scan. I was particularly pleased to get the moon pool blueprint. I entered through the moon pool and so far she hadn't stabbed me, so I took that as a warm welcome. It was just a little dirty though, so I thought that was a bit poor from the old girl.
What the heck is that?
Okay, so maybe the welcome wasn't as warm as I'd been hoping.
I told you to stay off my land.
I repeated once again that I was not with Alterra, but Marguerite wasn't exactly trusting.
If you're not Alterra, why don't you disable that damn tracking satellite tower instead of barging into my sea base? Maybe once Alterra's off my back, I'll remember something about your sister.
On the table there was a Snowfox fragment and a test override module fragment, so I learned how to make the module for the big tower back on the island.
I need a parallel processing unit. How the hell do I make that?
I also found a sea truck perimeter defense upgrade on the floor here. A PDA told the story of how Marguerite had survived in the first Subnautica. She'd killed a Reaper, this is its skull mounted on the wall, and she'd lived inside of it, eating its flesh as it floated all the way to this frosty area of the planet, I guess. The Snowstalker was blocking the way further into the base, so I took my leave as she clearly wasn't going to tell me more until I disabled the big satellite tower. Down here I found a couple more blueprints, most interestingly the tech to make a spy pengling, and I hopped back in the truck and hunted for more sea monkey nests, because I was very keen to find one blueprint in particular.
We got the ultra high capacity tank. Great news.
I'd soon scanned just about every sea monkey nest in the area, and I had a bag full of rubies, so I decided to head back to base. In the light of day, I saw what I'd missed when I came this way earlier, a big old shipwreck. I headed in to investigate. Inside, I found some laser cutter fragments and earned the blueprint. And beyond that, I actually needed a laser cutter to explore further into the wreck, so I headed off with a plan to return once I'd crafted one.
We made it, and my base has no legs. Oh, there we go. Legs. Okay, now we got some work to do, man. I have 0 titanium, so let's start by finding some titanium.
After getting my hands on some metal, I whacked down an exterior grow bed in which I planted the gel sacks I'd brought back, beginning my replenishable sack farm, and I also added a large room, which cost me a couple of plasteel ingots.
Doesn't exactly have very impressive foundations, but it's staying up.
After yet another collecting session, I placed a bioreactor in the large room, and I added a couple more solar panels too. I harvested and replanted ribbon plants and filled up the bioreactor, and with that the max power of this base had risen from 150 to 800. And of course the bioreactor would continue producing electricity during the night, unlike my solar panels. I upgraded my O2 tank to ultra high capacity.
180 seconds of oxygen now, up from 130.
I made a laser cutter using some diamonds and sulfur. I made sure to add bulkheads, because you gotta keep up the integrity. And after yet another collecting session, because I kept running out of titanium, I added a hatch at the end of the large room for my convenience, and I made a moon pool connected off the side of the large room. You can dock vehicles in this thing, allowing your base to recharge them.
Kind of in an awkward spot far away from everything. which isn't ideal.
Yes, indeed, the moon pool should ideally be close to the main hub of my base. So I got rid of this scanner room and connected the moon pool to the main crafting and storage area instead. And the scanner room found a new spot connected to the large room over here.
My moon pool's like actually close to everything now, which feels a lot better.
I added a vehicle upgrade console, which granted me access to the all-important ability to customize my truck.
It's kind of nuggety, right? And it's in the water nugget. Oh, that doesn't fit the nug. And even this color is kind of like reminiscent of a deep fried nugget. The nug gets its own marker. You love to see it.
I also made a spy penguin robot, and I took the nug out for a spin hoping to find some penguins I could bamboozle. But I was soon distracted and I tried to find the alien artifact Alan had detected. I got within about 100 meters, but I was having trouble.
Am I approaching this wrong? Am I supposed to go down into this mess?
It was tight down there, so I kept bumping the walls.
The nug is getting abused. I'm sorry, Nug. I'm sorry.
I gave up and left, and Alan soon sensed the location of another artifact, so suddenly I had 2 alien spots to visit. But before doing any of that, I ended back up on land, playing with the spy penguin. I used the remote to move it around a little, but there weren't any penguins here, so I wasn't able to make friends. I returned to the alien artifact search, and I ended up in the exact same caves again.
It's just there. How do I get there though?
There was a sneaky little tunnel into which I swam, and I finally found the artifact. It was just a water filtration system, but apparently scanning it would help put the puzzle pieces together for Alan somehow. By the way, this is what the perimeter defense upgrade I'd found at Marguerite's does.
Boo. Get zapped, idiot. Get out of here.
Back at base, I expanded my storage. I ate an absurd amount of shrub nuts to keep me alive, and I placed some art I'd stolen from the various abandoned Altera stations.
Some beautiful art there. Look at this. Very experimental. Fred's shaving kit is probably the pinnacle find of this playthrough so far.
I whacked down an aquarium too and put some fishies in there. I made use of some rubies and gel sacks to make aerogel, with which I constructed a couple of water filtration units to keep up my supply of fresh water, and I headed out in the nug hoping to track down the second alien artifact Alan had put on my radar.
I think I gotta go down here. I'm kind of level with it now, but it's over there. Oh bro, this area feels dicey, you know. Ooh, that's a big old shark. Look at that thing. It's got a suction face.
Fortunately, the suction face sharks were no match for my Zappy Zap, so I felt fairly safe as I made my way along, but...
I don't think I can get low enough. This area's all too low. Okay, we need to rethink.
I tried coming at the signal from a different angle, but again I was struggling. So I ended up distracted, collecting lithium in the purple vents area.
Oh gosh. This is where I die.
For some reason, Big Red didn't chase me, so I was able to return to the relative safety of the nug unscathed. After collecting yet more lithium, I gave up on finding the alien artifact for now and instead revisited this wreck. Except this time I was equipped with a laser cutter. This opened up a bunch more for me to explore. I found a power cell in a supply crate, which was nice.
Oh. Parallel processing unit fragment.
So that explained how I was going to find the blueprint to make the processing unit, which would in turn allow me to make the module for the radio tower. I found 2 out of 3 fragments as I meandered through the wreckage.
There's gigantic worms burrowing in the ice. Sounds beautiful.
I searched the entire wreck, but couldn't find the 3rd fragment I needed. So I wondered if perhaps there were other chunks of wreckage out there and set out searching. I didn't have much luck.
Oh, this is poopy pantsies. I want to find more wreckage. Oh, what is that? What the heck are you doing, bro? You can't go underground like that. That's illegal.
And then after a rather long time, I finally found it. And it offered up some juicy tech.
Prawn suit. Is this going to get us our prawn suit as well? It's 3 out of 4. Yes, prawn suit. Finally.
I found 2 prawn suit drill arm fragments too, earning that blueprint, and I cut my way deeper into the wreck. There was an alien containment, so I nabbed the blueprint for that too, and this part of the wreckage was much bigger than the last, so I got busy exploring, while listening to PDAs that explained how this ship was shot down by an alien weapon, the same alien weapon that shot down the Sunbeam in the first Subnautica. I found this reinforced dive suit and claimed yet another juicy blueprint. This wreckage was definitely quite generous. And finally...
Here it is. Yes.
And so I zoomed off back towards the tentacle coral base, with a bunch of new blueprints unlocked. I pinned several recipes and got busy crafting. First, the parallel processing unit, and then the test override module for the radio tower, and then...
Give me a prawn suit.
Majestic.
Plop.
I hopped in and moved my new suit over to dock at the moon pool.
Let's get him kitted out. Storage module, prawn suit drill arm.
I added those upgrades and then it was time for some very serious deliberations.
My first prawn suit in Subnautica, the first one was Shrimpy McSlap. He died tragically on like day 90 of that run. And then I think I made Shrimpy McDonk. We need a descendant of Shrimpy McSlap somehow. So Shrimpy McPow. Nah, not as good, not as good. Shrimpy McPain. Lock it in, buddy. Shrimpy McPain. because he brings the pain. Keep calm and truck on.
That is probably not my finest naming effort, but it ended up being quite an apt name, as you'll see later in this playthrough. Shrimpy McPain remained docked in the moon pool for now though, because until I found some way to move it around quickly, it wasn't going to be of much use to me. I went straight to the island and climbed up the tower.
We enter the module. Oh, it's big. It's way bigger than I thought it was. Enter test mode.
Do it. Please work.
Okay, Alterra communications are disabled.
With the satellite inactive, this tower was now useless, and I had completed Marguerite's task, earning her trust.
Come find me at my greenhouse. I'm about 1 kilometer east of your position up on an iceberg. I have a present for you.
The nice lady said she was to the east, so off I trucked in that direction.
I think this is the way the big red guy is, but I'm just going for it. Anyone see a big red guy?
I found some rather interesting fragments to scan in this mess down here.
Sea truck aquarium. Sea truck fabricator. Oh, go away, dude. You big idiot. That indicates that I can make my sea truck bigger. Oh, that's cool. Gonna end up with a big old fat sea truck by the end of it.
I continued east and soon found some big chunky icebergs.
There's a big old whale.
I was now roughly 1 kilometer east of the tower island, so upon one of these icebergs I expected to find Marguerite. Except I wasn't sure which iceberg.
You don't belong here, big fella. You silly donut.
I poked around searching and soon I was atop this berg. And Alan seemed to think there was an alien artifact here, but a blizzard blew in so I couldn't see what the hell was going on. But once the weather calmed down, I found it, an Architect satellite. Again, I don't know how these random artifacts helped, but Alan insisted they were helpful, so why not?
Give me the whale scan, glow whale.
I soon found another iceberg that looked promising. It featured one of these handsome fellows and these fevered pepper plants, from which I picked some peppers that were quite nourishing and they restored body heat too. I ate a bunch and kept some to take back to base. I also grabbed this frost vase plant. I climbed the iceberg and soon found the greenhouse Marguerite had spoken of, and in I went.
Damn satellite hasn't passed by in a while. I guess that was your doing.
Angry Marge finally shared some information about my sister Sam.
First time I met her, I was sure she was Alterra through and through. Not a crease in her uniform. Sending those damn bird bots to spy everywhere. Then, she surprised me.
The old girl was growing some serious fruit and veg in here. Very impressive. But the information I'd come for was in this PDA recording of a conversation between Marguerite and Sam.
Is the bacteria a threat, or isn't it?
It is.
Does it need to be dealt with or not?
It does.
So these two believed the research Alterra was conducting upon the Kara bacteria was too risky, and they believed any samples should be destroyed. Sam had been tasked with blowing up a cave to seal off something, presumably the site where they'd found samples of the bacteria, and Marge had been tasked with destroying the lab where they were researching it, which she obviously succeeded at, as we saw earlier in that floaty rock. In the first Subnautica game, set on a different part of this planet, I actually cleansed the ecosystem of the deadly bacteria everyone's so worried about. So I'm not sure how it survived here, but I guess we'll find out. My inventory was now full, so I enjoyed a long trek back to base, where I slapped down a grow bed and planted some fevered pepper plants, and then I was honestly at a bit of a loss as to what I should do. All of this talk about a Leviathan buried in the ice, and now secret missions to blow stuff up, I was confused. I decided I should try to find this frozen Leviathan, but I wasn't sure if it was on land or underwater. I decided to search underwater first. All I knew is that it was in a cave, so my guess was that if it was underwater, there'd be a cave in the ice somewhere along the edge of this landmass. I spent literally all of day 30 searching, but I had no luck.
I've gone all the way out to Marge's greenhouse accidentally. I didn't plan for this.
And so I concluded the frozen Leviathan must be somewhere on the land. And for now I instead turned my attention to another alien artifact Alan had found a signal for. And this was no easy search either.
I don't think I've been down here before. Finally. Where am I trying to go? In there. It's gotta be that. Oh, what the heck?
I wondered if perhaps this was where the Leviathan was frozen, because it would make sense that Alterra would build up a base around it. I had to swim in because my truck was too chunky, and inside was a rather deep shaft, and blocked off passages leading either way.
I guess I just gotta go down, right? Oh, they were mining here? They brought up a big thing of titanium?
Down I went, and it did indeed appear to be a mining operation, with these rails transporting minerals up the shaft. I claimed some materials as I went, because of course,
I do like diamonds. Diamonds quite good.
And in this prawn suit bay, I found a cheeky upgrade.
Prawn suit jet jump upgrade, nice.
The oxygen plants kept me breathing, and soon I found the artifact. It was a funky looking statue. And with that, Alan had enough data to find an Architect body cache signal. I also found the end of the mine, an area replete with minerals, would you believe? I made my exit, and once I was back in the Nug, I decided to investigate this nearby biome I was pretty sure I'd never been to before.
Okay, we got some blue. What is this business? Oh, we got some jelly boys. Jelly boys! I'm a lot afraid Jelly boys. Do you reckon they're angry jelly boys or they're happy jelly boys?
I can't speak to the precise emotional state of the jelly boys, but they did not attack me, and for that I was grateful. Beyond that, there was nothing doing over here, so I soon headed back to base.
Let's give Shrimpy McPain the prawn suit upgrade. Bro, I can jump out of water. Do you see that?
After a prawn suit joyride during which I punched a boomerang, I realized there were a few things I could construct for my base. So I did a little collecting, and before long I was connecting this sea truck dock to the moon pool. I have no idea when I unlocked this, but I figured I better make a proper spot for the Nug. I noodled my truck in, and it was quite a good parking spot.
Yeah, I can dock the Nug here. And that's kind of sick. I can just get into it. Cool.
I also placed an alien containment, added a hatch to it, and hopped in. And once in, I dropped the few creature eggs I'd collected in my travels and left them to hatch. I decided these 2 water filters were too cramped now that the aquarium was dominating the center of the room. So I deconstructed them and replaced one of them down here. I didn't bother replacing the second because I decided it was overkill. And finally, I placed a jukebox. When I put this banger of a song on, Alan initiated an annoying conversation about the purpose of music, which I completely ignored.
I need young cotton anemone, I need flowering spore, I need spiral plant clipping. I could use some magnetite as well.
I was pretty sure the remaining alien signals I had available to investigate were below 300 meters. At least one of them definitely was. So I needed those materials I just listed to get some key upgrades. And at the top of that list was another depth upgrade for the truck. And so I headed out on the hunt for any of them as yet unfound resources. And the first place I visited was the weird biome below the tentacle coral area. I parked the truck at 300 meters and set out with my Sea Glide.
Oh, not this thing. Get off me.
I didn't find any new materials, but I did find some sea truck module fragments. So I'd soon unlocked the fabricator module and the storage module, and I was now able to make my truck longer. Great news. I kept up the search for a while, but that was all I was able to find down there. I made one of each module, which cost a bit of plasteel, wiring kits, and lead. They just floated there weirdly. So I carefully reversed my truck at them, which somehow worked to get both of them connected.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my lord. Alright, so that just made me long. This is big news. Now I can go on massive collecting missions with all this storage.
I parked in the tube and finally understood why it was so long. Gotta fit in all them modules. And I did a little more collecting because I figured I might as well make a second storage module. I stocked up the truck with spare food and batteries, and then it was time to connect the third module, but I had some trouble.
Please, connect to my butt. Oh, I broke it?
What the heck? What? Excuse me?
That's very upsetting. How did it break that easily? How are you supposed to connect it on? What did I do?
After that devastating loss, I decided I couldn't be bothered making another one, so I headed out to investigate this area again. I was back looking for the frozen Leviathan, and I was convinced by this point it must be on land somewhere, so I wondered if I'd missed something. But no, I definitely explored this area fully the first time. I managed to find the beach connected to the spot where I crash landed at the very start of the game. So I double checked that area too, but again found nothing new. And then I realized Alan had provided me with yet another alien artifact signal, and this one appeared to be at about sea level, so I was hoping perhaps it would lead me to unexplored lands. On my way there, I found one of these long alien noodles, but it sadly didn't lead to anything, and I met up with some more jelly pals too. I also found a cave blocked off by ice, which I thought was strange. And early on day 38...
What are we looking at here? Oh, what the heck? Oh, there's a bridge. Where did it? There's a lot of business to attend to up there.
I guess I somehow never came this way in all my searching earlier, because this was pretty unmissable, and there was a rather large landmass to explore. These steam vents helped me fight the cold, and I soon found a cave leading to the artifact. This one was an energy generator.
That is another artifact off the list. I think that's my 3rd or 4th. Most importantly, it helped me find land where I feel like I can definitely progress. I don't think I can get up there except from the bridge on the other side, so maybe I'm gonna have to rebuild the bridge somehow.
I'd soon explored the land below the bridge on this side, but when I headed over to the other side, I quickly realized there was a lot more to explore over here. I also collected materials as I went, because I intended to fill up my truck to the brim. I looked around a little before approaching the bridge.
There is something of significance beyond this bridge. It was important to Alterra, but more important to me.
Will it help us build you a body?
I believe so, yes.
To fix the bridge, I just needed some hydraulic fluid.
I can make that very easily. Okay.
I was gonna need to head back to base to make it though, so I held off doing that and explored this side of the bridge for now. I emerged from this cave to find myself at a rather large Alterra base. I found a little cave that looked like it could be accessed by a spy penguin, so I resolved to bring my little penguin robot with me next time, and I headed into the Fire Robotics Center, where Sam had worked.
Snowfox hoverpad fragment.
This base, much like every other base I found in this frozen wasteland, had seen better days. I found this map, which I literally never looked at again for some reason, but now that I'm editing this, it looks really useful. I probably should have referred to it in my adventures. I found Sam's room, and her colleague Zeta's room too, and I was able to scan a cold suit, which was a great blueprint to find.
Snowstalker fur? What? I gotta go fight some snowstalkers? Are you serious?
I found another Snowfox fragment. That made 2 out of 3 scans towards the blueprint. And I explored the rest of the center as I listened to some PDAs. They basically just communicated what I'd already worked out. Sam was not a fan of the fact that Altera was studying the deadly bacteria rather than destroying it. I eventually went into the cave past the base, where I discovered one of these big alien teleporter thingos, but it was inactive. And with that, I'd seen everything there was to see here, so I emerged and continued exploring. I found this frozen lake area, which led through to my first sighting of a Snowstalker in the wild. And I needed Snowstalker fur to make a cold suit, so there was only one thing to do.
I think he is. I think he is just gonna kill me.
After that delicious face-eating experience, I decided I wanted more.
If I walk up, I just get maimed. Alright, so how do I get your fur then?
The rude bloke wasn't giving me any of his fur, so I decided to continue exploring.
Oh, magnetite. Yes.
You may recall magnetite was one of those elusive materials I'd been missing, so this was a pleasing find. I filled my inventory before taking my leave. I left a beacon at the bridge so I'd have no trouble finding my way back, and I returned to the Tentacle Coral base. Once there, I got busy with the very important work of hanging up these posters I'd stolen. I crafted a propulsion cannon because I thought it might be useful, and I used some magnetite to craft the scanner room HUD upgrade, and 3 scanner room range upgrades.
The range is now 450 meters. I thought it would be bigger than that.
Each range upgrade added 50 meters to its reach, which I thought was a little underwhelming. Next, I grabbed some creepvine clusters, which I combined with a gel sack to make hydraulic fluid for the bridge.
I'm gonna make 2 just to be safe. I'm pretty sure I don't need 2, but whatever.
And because I'd brought home so many materials, using my truck's new storage module, I expanded my base storage into the moon pool so I could fit more stuff. Then it was time to go fix that bridge.
I need to get this bridge extended, but also I do have a lot of exploring to still do on this side. There we go. Extend. Bridge repaired.
I strode forth boldly, crossing the gap into a new frontier.
I'm sensing interesting patterns to the northeast. It would be worth investigating. But be careful.
Of what?
I recall ravenous creatures tunneling beneath the ice.
Oh my, no.
Any boldness I may have possessed evaporated in that moment.
Okay, I'm running back across the bridge. I'll come back later.
I decided I wasn't going to risk going that way until I had both a Snowfox to zoom around on and a cold suit to keep me warm. I revisited the Fire Robotics Center because I'd seen this cave blocked off by a bunch of crates earlier, so I wondered if there was anything important in there. I cleared the way with my new propulsion cannon. It was just a loot cave.
There's a lot of loot in here, but nothing that exciting.
I'll take some free batteries though, why not? I'd brought my Pengling robot this time, so I fired it up.
There I am, I'm chilling.
It's pretty impressive how statuesque I am while operating a toy penguin and being blasted by steam. Anyway, inside the little cave I found magnetite, which I grabbed using my robot hand. I then made my way back to the Snowstalker because I wanted to test something.
Okay, this is not working.
I let the big fella eat my face again, and then I got busy with my knife, slashing him real good. Until...
Where'd he go? Snowstalker fell through into oblivion. I can get the Snowfox now, finally.
That Snowstalker could have at least left some fur behind before it descended to hell. Very rude. But at least I now had the Snowfox blueprint. I explored the biome, chomping on fevered peppers to ward off hypothermia, and while it was quite pretty here, I found myself wondering,
What is the point of this area?
I found another Snowstalker on a higher ridge, so I of course got busy murdering it, and it actually died fairly quickly.
Now give me your fur. For goodness sake, how do I get the fur then? Just murdered an innocent Snowstalker for no reason.
I explored through another Pengling robot hole, but found nothing beyond some materials. I found some water and a water cave that I believe led back out to open sea, and after a long time of fruitless wandering, I gave up on this biome, and then I got even more lost. All up, it ended up being about a day and a half of meandering, until I finally stumbled into a region that seemed new.
I don't think I've been here before. I haven't been here before. I actually found somewhere new. Yes! I found something! It took me so long to find this part of the... What is this place, by the way? Security. Parvin Ivanov. Fur!
I pilfered from old mate's room while listening to some very interesting PDA recordings.
Okay, this PDA is boring. So this was security, and we got some stuff he was watching. This must be the Leviathan, right? Oh, here we go.
What happened here?
I sense many things here.
Ooh!
Death among them.
Ooh!
We are reporting 2 casualties. Parvan Ivanov and Samantha Ayu.
Both bodies were found beneath the rubble at the cave entrance. What was Ayu doing? Nothing in her file suggests a history of vandalism or carelessness. And yet, I can only conclude that the cause of the collapse was employee negligence.
It sounds like Sam went ahead with Marguerite's plan to blow up this area and seal the Leviathan away. But I guess it didn't work out and she got herself killed. I know that's my sister we're talking about and I should feel sad, but honestly, that is just a poor effort. Also, I found something juicy.
Synthetic fibers. I need synthetic fibers and I don't know how to make them yet, so that's a pretty good find. Well, this big fella is very handsome and he looks diseased.
So that explains how the Kara bacteria survived in this area of the planet. It was frozen away in the ice for Altera to find.
Requires injectable container to function, where I can put the antidote if I can find it. This is a big boy, you know. Boing, boing, boing. Boing.
There was a tunnel carved out under the beast too, where a big claw was exposed.
Southeast of the Leviathan. Okay, I'm looking for a Penguin Cave to the southeast.
Now that I finally had the Leviathan site as a reference point, I could seek out the Penguin Cave I was after.
Somewhere over here. It's snowing inside this cave. Give me a break. Southeast. I think I'm still in a vaguely southeast direction. Have I been here before? I actually have no idea.
And then I spotted it, a Penguin Cave.
Oh, this looks promising, you know. Oh yeah, this has got to be it. Don't fall off the bridge. Yes!
Sam must have stashed this here.
We got the antidote, baby.
She was gonna use this antibacterial agent to neutralize the bacterium.
If she was gonna do that, then what was the point of trying to blow up the cave and seal off the Leviathan if she could have just cured it to destroy the disease? I don't know, I may be confused about the story here. After all, I did get like 8 plot points wrong when I played the first game, but I found this a little confusing. I explored a little of this new area.
Hey, what the hell? Having a swim, big fella. Run! Run!
Before heading back to my good friend.
Insert antidote. I can cure it. This is what Samantha wanted to do, so I should fulfill her wishes.
I slapped the big yellow button and off-zoomed the robot.
Let's cure it. Going straight into the pustule.
And just like that, the handsome fish was cured, and the threat of the deadly bacteria neutralized. And I earned a little closure executing on my sister's plan.
Now, let's feed ourselves to this big fella. But that's a whole story arc essentially finished, right? Now the rest of the story is getting this alien out of my brain and getting off the planet, I guess?
I found that random bit of Snowstalker fur in Pavan Ivanov's room, but I needed a few more to make the full cold suit, so that was my next mission. And I was in luck, as I soon found this Snowstalker lair.
How do I get your fur? Oh yeah. Okay. There's an answer to my question.
I grabbed 3 clumps of fur and that was all I needed. And just as well because big fat Snowstalker here spotted me and gave chase. I then took ages trying to find my way back to the Nug, but I got there eventually and it was good to be back in the water. I immediately got busy crafting. I was able to craft a cold suit using my truck's fabricator, as it just cost the fur plus some mesh.
Cold resistance up to 80% now. That's pretty significant, I guess.
I then headed back to base where I crafted some spare beacons, and I used that one synthetic fiber I'd found to craft this.
Sea Truck Depth Mark II. Finally. What is it going to be? Like 450? 650? Holy crap. That is more than double. Now I feel like the ocean has opened up to me. Surely I start finding some of the resources I'm still missing.
I'd also found some hydrochloric acid in my adventures, so I turned that into polyaniline, which I used to craft swim charge fins. These charge whatever you're holding as you swim about, which is handy to have. The final thing to craft was the Snow Fox, but for that I needed to head back to land and place down a Snow Fox hover pad. I was thinking I'd have to create a land base and power it up in order to make this thing work, but I slapped it down near the bridge and it was just good to go.
Zippy Zuzu, I think, because I feel like it's probably gonna zip and it's gonna zoo.
My new Snow Fox did indeed zip, and it did indeed zoo.
Oh yeah, that's some Zippy Zuzu for you.
To keep this thing charged, all I had to do was park it on the hover pad. I crafted a Snow Fox jump upgrade module in my truck, and added that to the Zippy Zuzu, so now it could jump too, because why not? And then I crossed the bridge. You may recall I'd received terrifying warnings about giant snow worms, so I was just slightly scared venturing into this area.
Don't get foggy on me, bro.
I turned back from that way for now, and I found an Altera outpost at which I collected this databank that gave me the blueprint for a thumper.
It thumps things to draw the attention of the big old worm. Oh, good lord.
I zoomed back to the Nug to make a couple of these thumpers, but I actually never used these, so that was a waste of time. And then it was time to put on my big boy pants.
Oh, dude. Why did they have to warn me about the worms? They should have just let me get eaten by a worm, so I wouldn't have so much dreaded anticipation. I don't even know what I'm looking for. Let's start by going in here. That scared the crap out of me. These are gotta be worm tunnels.
These were indeed worm tunnels, featuring some minerals, but there wasn't really anything for me down here. I needed to brave the open snow.
This is making me poop. There's poop running down my leg. Dude, what? Oh, did you see that? I just caught a glimpse of some spiky things. Oh my gosh, why?
So it seems the worms have a habit of erupting forth from the earth, but I figured I'd be safe in the caves. In this cave, I found some Architect cabling to scan. I have no idea if that was helpful, but I couldn't hide in caves forever. I was on the hunt for something more important than alien cables. Every time I heard rumbling, I used the Snow Fox's boost to zoom away, and that seemed to serve me pretty well.
Woo! Did my Snow Fox just get one hit? It's still alive. Go, 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 go. How did it not take much damage? Run! That was crazy. What am I supposed to find around here?
The Snow Fox only took about 30% damage from that hit, which seems a little hard to believe, but I'll take it. And I took a fair bit of damage to my health, which I was able to heal up with a med kit. As I narrowly avoided some more snowworm eruptions, I made my way deeper into the area. And soon Alan caught a sniff of what we were looking for.
There is almost certainly vital information pertaining to my body construction nearby.
Searching the frosty wilderness while being hunted by enormous ice worms is not exactly ideal, especially once night falls. Take, for example, this time I was knocked off my Snow Fox.
He got my Snow Fox, but he didn't deal any damage to my character. And then we're going down here.
This alien noodle plus ravine combo did indeed look promising.
Yes. I found it!
The presence of Alan inside my head brought down the force field, and in I went.
Oh, I'm so glad I found this without dying.
Over at this cave-in, I found what I was here for. This fella got squished while mining for ion cube components, which is sad for him but handy for us, as scanning his arm helped us learn how to make Architect tissues. That was 1 out of 3 blueprints towards making Alan's body.
Oh, what is this? Oh, hello. Is that a dead big boy?
I scanned the body of the dead ice worm, and soon after I admired the aggression of a not dead ice worm, and then I decided it was time to head back to the water, as I hoped that I'd found everything I needed to find up here in ice worm territory. On the way I had another encounter with one of the beasts, as it knocked me off my Snow Fox and dealt considerable damage.
Stop it. What are you doing, bro? You're not impressing anyone with your dance moves.
But the Snow Fox survived and I was able to make it back to the bridge, miraculously in one piece. For now, I was done with the land, and it was time to see about the various locations Alan had scouted out for me underwater. After a pit stop to dump some equipment, restock, put up some posters of Leviathans from the first Subnautica, and say hello to the creatures that had hatched in my aquarium, it was time to go.
Now, on this mission, I would like to find a docking module for the truck so I can take my prawn suit. I would like to find a spiral plant, sea anemone, I don't know what else, any other resources that I don't have readily available yet. This may take me near that red guy, you know, that terrifying red guy.
Guess what I found when I arrived at the signal?
He's right there. He's right there. How do I avoid him?
The signal I was going for was below, at the center of this basin, and the big red guy seemed to be guarding said basin. But when he started fighting a random shark, I took my opportunity.
My truck's so slow, dude.
Somehow I made it in undetected, and into the hole I went. There was some volcanic activity going on, and a big ground sampler for me to scan. And that was another Architect find under my belt. The only problem was I now had to emerge from the hole, above which the red guy was still lurking.
I'm at below 350, by the way, so this is definitely the deepest I've ever gone. I didn't even get distracted by a shark again.
I decided to make a break for it, and I thought for sure my truck was going to get chewed on, but somehow I made a clean escape.
Ha ha! Yeah, get the shark, don't worry about me.
There was another signal relatively close by, not too far from where Marguerite's underwater base is. And this time I had no trouble from scary red guys as I descended down this big crack. There were flowering spores here, which I needed to make benzene, so that was a good find. This little seahorse fella made me go on a psychedelic trip, which was a bonus. And there were young cotton anemones here too, which I also needed for advanced crafting. I collected my fill, stocking up the truck's storage, before continuing the search for the nearby signal, which was still a further 140 meters below me.
Oh, hang on, what's this? Is this the spiral plant? Loop plant. You trick me with your loop plant? These things are ugly. What are they doing? They're puckering. Don't you pucker, you big fat weirdo.
I followed the trail of puckering plants deeper, and there was a shark down here, but it was easily fended off with a big defensive zap. And soon I'd found my way to another alien facility.
Oh. Ooh. This is pretty.
A rather lovely garden indeed. A wonderful destination for aliens desiring to meditate. Complete with a beautiful skeleton, which I of course scanned, earning the blueprint to craft an Architect skeleton structure. I took my leave, dropping a beacon labeled flowering spores, so I'd be able to find my way back here if I needed to. And off I went to see about the one remaining alien signal I had to investigate. Except after I hopped out to scan this aquarium module fragment, I realized something was missing.
Wait, what? Where's my... the hell? Why is half my truck down there?
I returned to the abandoned modules, but I was terrified that if I backed into them, everything would explode and break like last time. Thankfully, I made a discovery.
Oh, I can pilot the actual module. That helps.
And so I was able to gently push the modules to connect them. And once I re-entered the truck, I realized what had happened.
You can disconnect it doing this. Maybe I accidentally clicked that. I must have accidentally clicked that somehow. I did not realize.
So that was a fun series of silly willies, no mistake. I got back on track and soon found myself rather blue. I saw there were some angry red leviathans nearby, but I managed to keep my distance. And there were also some giant jelly boys.
These big old jellies, man. These might be spiral plants. Tornado plants. Bro, they're just baiting me with everything except spiral plants, man. How annoying that is. They're trolling me. Don't troll me. I'm desperate here, trying to find the flaming spiral plants.
As I ventured closer to the giant jelly, my PDA informed me it was a vent garden that harvests geothermal energy to nurture the life that grows within.
Can I go inside it, you think? I think we gotta try this. Can we go in the butt? We can't go in the butt. No way. I'm in the butt. I'm inside. It is a spiral plant. I should have known I had to go in the butt to get the spiral plant. Thank you, glorious vent garden, for your rich bounty. I entered through your butt, and I was rewarded for my faithfulness.
As you can see, I claimed all the spiral plant clippings I could get my hands on, as these are used to make synthetic fibers, which I needed for a couple of upgrades. I left a helpful beacon,
Enter butt for spiral plant.
and zoomed my way clear of the vent garden sphincter.
I got all 3 organic items that I need for progression. Who knows what else I'm gonna find down here? I don't quite fit down here.
I ended up hopping out and swimming down, and with this artifact scan, I unlocked ion batteries and power cells.
Just batteries that last way longer.
A good find.
I think I returned to this place to explore more. For now, I go home.
And so home I went. I expanded my storage further in the moon pool so I could fit in the abundance of goodies I'd found on that expedition. I placed 2 exterior grow beds and planted young cotton anemones and spiral plants, and I got busy crafting. The spiral plant clippings enabled me to craft more synthetic fibers, and with those I was able to craft a reinforced dive suit, which offers greater protection from enemies and extreme temperatures. I also crafted the prawn suit's first depth upgrade. The flowering spores enabled me to craft benzene, and with that I crafted a prawn suit grappling arm.
Okay, we get the depth module. Can go down to 700 meters now. Oof, that's good.
I had a quick grappling session before turning my attention to upgrading the power cells of my vehicles to ion power cells. I was low on silver though, so I fired up the scanner room and got busy collecting. Thanks to the scanner room HUD upgrade I made earlier, I could now see what the scanner room was detecting while out and about, so I soon returned home with the silver needed to make 3 ion power cells.
Place 1 of this, guys. It's got 1,000 charge instead of 200. It's 5 times. 5 times the charge. Seems good.
These are made of ion cubes and advanced alien tech, so you'd hope they'd be decent. I placed the other 2 in my truck. Back in the biome with the huge vent gardens, my PDA had mentioned geothermal activity below, so I headed back there to investigate what that was all about.
Ooh, it's looking like I can go deep below this butt, perhaps.
I soon found the aforementioned geothermal activity, but as I followed the cave system down here, I popped out somewhere familiar.
Oh, I'm back at her base. I didn't even mean to come here, but here I am.
I thought I might as well go in and have a nice chat with my good friend, and she did indeed have lots to say.
You again.
As I listened to a PDA explaining how Marguerite had drifted while inside a Reaper carcass until she'd ended up in these frosty lands, I explored deeper in this area than I ever had before, as the last time I was here my limit was just 300 meters. I soon found a way deeper still.
Okay, I feel like I've found somewhere here.
I crept forward through the crystals, before receiving a lovely warning.
Proceed with caution. A Leviathan-class creature is near.
That obviously put the fear in me, so I crept forward even more slowly before spotting something juicy.
I think that's kyanite.
I emerged from the truck to go grab some.
Oh yeah, there it is. That's a big long boy.
I quickly grabbed the kyanite and then backed up a little.
I would feel a lot better with my prawn suit, because I think I can fight him with my prawn suit.
Once I was at a safe distance, I worked out I only needed 3 kyanite to make the final depth upgrades for both the truck and the prawn suit. So I decided I'd try and grab at least 2 more crystals before heading back up. The first of these I grabbed easily enough, but the second...
Oh, he's right there. He's right there. Oh, crap. No, you don't. No, you don't. You can't get me. I'm hiding behind some crystals.
That encounter almost had me fleeing entirely, but I stubbornly yoinked a 3rd kyanite in the window of time before the big noodle patrolled back this way. In fact, I was even more bold than that. I snuck out and grabbed a 4th kyanite just in case. But wait, I was bolder still, or perhaps stupider, because the final material I needed was nickel ore, and I wondered if perhaps it was somewhere down here too. So I ventured into this little trench to have a look.
There he is. Oh, and he saw me. He saw me. Am I dead? He doesn't fit in here. Okay, he sees you from far. So my two thoughts are, I either need the prawn suit so I can stand my ground against that idiot and punch him in the face, which I will happily do. Maybe there's another way to get into this area.
I took my leave, and the key thing that I was after now was a docking module for the Nug, so the next time I could bring Shrimpy McPain down here.
I'm assuming there's a docking module for the prawn suit, because there was in the first game on the big fat ship you could get. I'm almost positive there would be in this game, but I could be wrong.
I spotted a big hole, so down I went and found another alien artifact, a marine life analyzer.
Give me nickel. You got some nickel for me? Titanium.
At some point, the sea monkeys of these waters randomly decided they liked me, so they developed a habit of giving me stuff. Usually, it wasn't that helpful.
Oh, what the heck? He just gave me nickel. I was joking when I said that. He actually gave me nickel. Alright, bro, I'm hanging out here until you give me more nickel. How did you know I want nickel? Give me more. How can this be? No way. There's nickel somewhere here? Where?
So it turned out this random hole had the single remaining resource I needed. I surmise sea monkeys have a chance to give you any of the materials found in the area.
He gave me more nickel. What a hero.
I only found 2 nickel ore in the actual environment, and beyond that I just waited around for the sea monkeys to do their good work.
He did it again. He did it again. He's a hero.
Sometimes the dinguses cheekily gave me rubies, but after waiting around long enough I had 7 nickel ore total, which was more than enough to craft the final depth upgrades I needed. Long live the random sea monkeys in the random hole with their random nickel. Back at base I crafted both upgrades immediately.
Prawn suit can now go to 1100 meters. Sea truck can now go to 1000 meters. So the prawn suit can go a little bit deeper. Interesting.
Alan had sniffed out yet another artifact for me to investigate, so I figured I might as well check that out. Though what I really wanted was the truck's dock module. The signal had me venturing into a deeper part of the purple vents area that I'd never been to before. And as I poked around trying to find the way even deeper...
Oh, could this be what I want? Did this artifact spot lead me right to exactly what I want? I think it did. Sea truck docking module. Yes! Finally! 1 out of 3. I need to find 2 more. Surely they're in this area though.
I found the artifact. It was a fossil excavation site. And I soon found fragments 2 and 3 of the docking module.
Yes, we got the docking module.
Alan revealed some more info too.
It's getting fragmented signals indicating that the locations are deep and shielded by refractive material. So basically I need to go down amongst the large crystals for him to get more information.
After my recent finds, I was more than happy to head back down there. I just needed to collect a few materials first. After gathering stuff most of day 57, I crafted the docking module and an extra storage module, because you can have 4 modules total, so I figured why not. I carefully connected them onto the truck, and then hopped in Shrimpy McPain and attached him to the docking module at the back.
There we go. Look how long this thing is now. Got an entirely new storage area. And we got our prawn suit, Shrimpy McPain. I could go looking for these upgrades for the sea truck, but I don't know where I would find them. I kinda can't be bothered.
And so off I went on the long truck back to the crystal land with the big scary noodlefish. And it really was long, especially now that I had 4 modules because my truck was slower than ever.
Down to Crystal Town, baby.
I parked my truck close to where the Leviathan roams, hopped in Shrimpy McPain and prepared myself for violence. I just couldn't see myself sneaking past the big fella in my hopelessly slow truck. And I absolutely did not want to risk him destroying the Nug because that would be a most profound nuisance. So I figured he had to die. I soon drew his attention, and he proceeded to chomp on my prawn suit with his weird blue mouth. Meanwhile, I drilled him. I also tried to grapple onto it, but was unsuccessful. After chomping me for a bit, he resumed his loop of the area. So I used that time to repair the 30% damage inflicted to my prawn suit. And then I waited for him to come back round.
I'm not afraid of you in my prawn suit, big boy. Maybe a little bit afraid because I am hiding amongst these.
It was the same again. While he damaged Shrimpy McPain, I damaged him. But I was able to repair, and he wasn't. Since I wasn't having much luck grappling to him, I decided to remove the grappling arm.
And I'm just gonna punch with one arm and drill with the other.
Yes, indeed, that is precisely what I did.
Let's go, bro. Yeah, come here. Come here.
It was then rinse and repeat, over and over, about 15 times. Part of my strategy became attempting to get him a little stuck in the crystal so I'd have extra time to beat him up. And just when I was beginning to wonder if this thing was unkillable...
I think he's dead. I think he's dead. He's dead. You think you can defeat me? Shrimpy McPain is here. If there's one thing I know about Shrimpy McPain, is that he brings the pain. Yeah, that was easy. Don't even worry about it.
Upon scanning the dead idiot, I discovered it was a shadow leviathan.
Extreme threat, avoid at all costs. I don't think so. Kill at all costs. Kill with the punch and the drill of one Shrimpy McPain.
Well said. And with that, I could now freely move around this area.
The crystals in this environment are confusing my senses, and yet I feel certain there is something important below. A facility or a body component. Perhaps both. I cannot tell.
Oh, there's another one. Of course there is.
Down in this trench, there was an abundance of kyanite, so I decided to drill some, just in case I needed more. I claimed some silver and gold ore too. I then noodled about, searching for a way to go deeper, while also hugging the walls trying to keep my distance from the second shadow beast, who seemed to have disappeared. I soon spotted a rather impressive crystal formation, so I cautiously crept forward to investigate.
Is this how you get deeper?
Down I went into the crystal fortress, which leveled out at the bottom into a passage that led me along to an architect facility.
Okay, this is kind of trippy, you know? Kind of beautiful.
At the end of the crystal hallway was a room in which I scanned this funky looking thing, which unlocked the final architect body part data I needed.
Okay, so I can make all the things, but I don't know where to make them. You know what I should have done? I should have brought all this stuff with me.
First, you must find the fabrication facility. It is concealed at some depth.
I was at about 800 meters deep, and apparently even deeper still, I would find the facility at which I could actually make Old Mate's body. My plan was to quietly head back up to the surface, collect all the materials I needed, and come all the way back down to find my way deeper. But this silly goose had other ideas. I tried zapping him, but he didn't seem bothered, and my big fat truck wasn't exactly great at high-speed getaways.
No, don't get me again.
He got me again, and this brought the Nug down to 19% durability. One more attack and it would be destroyed.
Whoa, did he just clip through the universe?
I desperately began repairing, because if the Nug broke, my heart would break too.
Don't do it.
He's pushing it.
Where is he?
Once I topped the Nug up with some repairs, it was time to go beast mode.
Yeah, come on, bro. Let's go then. You want this smoke? You want this smoke? You trying to destroy my sea truck, bro? Come here. Come here, you rat. I'll rip your head off. I'll pull all those little luminescent blue things off and I'll eat them for breakfast. They'll provide a delicious meal. Bro, I think I hooked onto him. I did. I'm hooked onto him. He's dragging me around. Is he still dragging me around? I didn't even mean to do this. Bro, did he just clip through the universe? Where the hell did he go?
So I somehow made grappling work, but it was hard to keep drilling him while grappled, so I opted to take the grapple arm off and employ those extra punches instead. He was milling about like a lost idiot for some reason, so I went on the offense, and then he started swimming away.
Now you started this, bro. I'm killing you now. Yeah, come on. I just wanted to leave, get on with trying to get Alan out of my head, make him a body, you know, all that good stuff. You tried to eat my truck.
The battle went much the same as last time, with the same fight, then repair loop, except I think I was a little more excited.
Yeah, give me that. Give me some of that.
I managed to get him a little bit stuck a few times, which provided me wonderful opportunities for violence, and soon enough...
He's dead. Yeah! Surely there aren't more than 2 of these idiots. That was dicey, man. The Nug got to like 20%. Look at this absolute embarrassment of a creature.
Now that the area was actually safe to explore, I figured I might as well try to find the way deeper. I spotted some red crystals, so I followed them down a little and concluded this must be it. So I dropped a beacon.
Way deepest.
And took stock of all the stuff I needed to craft Alan's body. I actually had a fair bit of it on me already, and I grabbed some stuff I needed from the surrounding environment too. But ultimately, my only option was to head back to base to pick up the few things I was missing. Several minutes later, I was grabbing some root pustules and crafting some polyaniline, and that was it. I had all the materials I needed. I stored it all in the Nug, and then it was time for that same long journey to the depths. Roughly 7 minutes later...
Okay, finally here. This took, you know, let's say a long time. Oh. Of course there's another one. I don't have any qualms doing what I need to do.
I already slapped 2 of these idiots, silly. What's a third?
Ah, this old song and dance. You know what? You and your 2 brothers upstairs should have worked together because alone you just die.
It turns out these big things don't get around too well in tight quarters, so I got in a huge amount of damage while it was stuck running into the floor. It got free eventually, so I of course repaired up and waited for another go round. But it only managed to suck on my face a few times before it met its demise.
Dead already, mate. Are you dead already?
Oh, and did I mention that I'd spotted another one further along?
You ready to die too, you idiot?
At some point, killing enormous, terrifying beasts gets pretty repetitive, and I think I was at about that point. it. This one decided to disappear into the ceiling, which was rude.
Where how'd he go? Your 3 friends died with honor. Come die.
Apparently commanding him to come die was rather persuasive, because he soon reappeared, and immediately got stuck, so I drilled him and punched him freely.
There's 4 of these idiots dead.
I hoped that was the final Leviathan down here, but I scouted forward in Shrimpy McPain just to be safe. I managed to find the entrance to an architect facility without being bothered, so I collected the nug, grabbed all the materials I needed, and headed in. It was a bigger facility than most of the ones I'd stumbled across so far, with 3 consoles on the left here, one for each of the 3 body parts I needed to craft. I inserted 3 diamonds, 1 polyaniline, and 1 plasteel ingot to begin crafting the skeleton, and while that materialized, I chatted with Alan, and learned that he'd come to this planet as a researcher investigating the deadly Kara bacteria. I next got the architect tissues crafting out of root pustules, synthetic fibers, and gel sacks.
So you came here to search for a cure?
I led the mission.
Does that mean the bacteria got out on your watch?
This subject is uncomfortable.
And finally was the organs out of ribbon plants, kyanite, and an ion cube.
What will you do with your newfound freedom?
I must return home to make amends.
Amends? For the bacterium? There seems to be a lot you're not telling me.
Commencing storage medium fabrication.
Oh, here we go.
The escape of the bacteria was an accident. I thought my solution was foolproof. I was wrong.
Did you cause the accident?
Yes.
Alan made a mistake that caused the bacteria to get free. Look at his body, bro. What a... Alan. Whoa, Alan, are you a horse? Alan's a horse. Can't believe Alan's a horse. Alright, Alan, go into the centaur.
Commencing data transfer.
Alan's getting sucked down in my brain. Oof.
Did it work?
That's gonna cause a headache.
Are we...
Oh, can I ride Alan? Ooh, have a stretch, mate. Stretch it out.
It has been some time since I last stretched out in so many dimensions. Like waking from a dream.
Whoa. Hey.
Oh, is he gonna give me a kiss?
Alan admitted that the bacteria escaping was indeed his fault, as he disobeyed a directive from his network, resulting in a big chunky Leviathan breaking out of their facility and letting the disease loose. Despite Alan's withholding the full truth, I was still willing to help him, so I left him to work away and agreed to meet him at a gate back on the surface.
Hey, so you're telling me that I have to go all the way back up to the surface? Oh man. Do you know how slow my truck is? I honestly should jettison my modules so I go faster, but I don't want to leave anything behind. Definitely don't want to leave Shrimpy McPain behind. Shrimpy McPain is a beast.
8 years later, I returned to the Tentacle Coral base.
I believe I'm gonna go meet him at the phase gate, so I could be disappearing off-world, so this might be the last time I see my base. Goodbye, silly nerds. Goodbye, holographic. Goodbye, beautiful artwork, especially this artwork, which is fused to the thing. There it is, my beautiful base. Good to have known you.
I zoomed forth towards the final alien signal and found myself back here, where I'd first visited about 60 days ago. Finally, the purpose of this random alien teleporter up here was revealed. Alan got the power flowing, and then it was time to go.
I've completed all the achievements except for one, and I believe the final achievement is to leave. Yes, I think I'm done. I think this is it. Off we go! Ooh. Where are we?
We were in the mountains somewhere, and up from the ground burst a phase gate, capable of taking us all the way back to Alan's homeworld. Apparently the architects hid this here over 1,000 years ago. Alan needed a little help riding some pillars, so he gave me some of his arms. Apparently I was a little rusty operating levitating robot arms, so I nearly dropped this pillar off the cliff, and I nearly squashed myself with this pillar, but soon enough all the pillars were standing tall.
Well, the pillars are doing stuff.
The energy field is ready. There is no time to lose.
Somehow the pillars made their ship materialize around the floating Alan.
Join me, Robin.
Well, that was a bit...
I apologize. The levitator was calibrated for heavy noise.
Alan had become one with the ship so that he could pilot it, and it was time for us to go.
What will we find when we get there?
If I am the last of my kind, I will experience the sorrow of 10,000 souls dimming.
And if they survived?
With you, I am ready to face whatever awaits.
Beautiful. Me and Alan, bro. Best of pals. Complete.
Don't forget War Thunder. Hit my link below, and new players and players that haven't logged in for over 6 months, you'll get them spicy bonuses.